Well, 7 pieces of legislation to support veterans and their families signed today by Governor Hochul, but some say not enough for 2 straight sessions.
The New York State Legislature has unanimously passed a bill which would help provide a pathway to citizenship for family members of immigrant soldiers, but the governor hasn't signed it. CBS 6's Tom Eschen live at the Capitol tonight, where he's been asking why.
That's right, Amani. We ask why because of who inspired this legislation. In 2007, Staff Sergeant Alex Jimenez went missing in Iraq. His body was found in 2008. Now, during the time of his disappearance, his wife, who was living back in the States, was actually in the process of being deported. This legislation is meant to provide resources for immigrant soldiers to prevent that from happening.
One of the things that people forget that when a soldier serves is that their whole family serves.
Yesenia Mata is the daughter of immigrants and also a U.S. Army Reserve military police specialist. Her husband is an officer in the armed forces, too.
Just seeing what he went through as someone who joined the Army as an immigrant soldier, there were so many setbacks.
Right now, there is a federal program to provide temporary legalized status for immigrant soldiers' families. But lawmakers say it needs state funding.
Those resources are necessary because the people that are seeking them oftentimes don't have access to them.
Jake Ashby has co-sponsored a bill named after Alex Jimenez, which would use $500,000 to help veteran individuals and their families secure legal immigration status and even citizenship.
And this is about priorities for me. When you look at a budget that's nearly $230 billion, we're asking for 2 positions, 2 paid positions, to help the family members of service members.
The governor has considered making this program and bill volunteer-based. But in the meantime, $1 billion of that $230 billion budget that Senator Ashby was referring to went to New York City to help the more than 100,000 immigrants arriving in the state, much of that funding going to housing. The governor has since placed a focus on work authorization, also using 250 National Guard members to focus on case management.
The casework, to understand who has what options before them, and help them to be on that path to the life that they sought.
A United States immigrant soldier has taken that path a step farther, serving for their new country, which is why advocates say they and their families deserve the recognition and resources even more.
New York would be the first state in the country to provide resources for this program. It's a tremendous opportunity for our state to lead on an issue right now that is dividing our nation.
If people want to support soldiers or people say we support soldiers, this is the perfect way to do it. It is time for the governor to sign this bill so soldiers can be combat ready.
Now, we have reached out to the governor's office about this legislation, and much like in other cases, they say she will be reviewing this legislation in the coming weeks. But of course, everyone you heard from their advocates for this bill frustrated it wasn't included in the package of bills today here on Veterans Day. Reporting live here from Albany, Tom Eschen, CBS 6 News.